Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining. I see that a few of you are connecting now, so let's give it at least a minute until everyone kicks in so we can get started.
Good afternoon.
All right, very good. Once again, good afternoon. My name is Barbara Cotto. I am the program director for Startup FIU Local. And today, along with Miami-Dade Business Navigator, we will be delivering to you an incredible workshop called Dig into Digital, Understanding the Foundations of Digital Marketing and Analytics for Your Small and Micro Business. Before we will get started, I would like to give you a brief introduction on Miami-Dade Business Navigator. Alexis, if you can help me. Next slide. About the Miami-Dade Business Navigator program. The Miami-Dade Business Navigator program is a program hosted and powered by SBA. It is funded in part through a cooperative agreement with the U.S. Small Business Administration. Next. And what is it that is the SBA Community Navigator Pilot Program? Well, back in 2021, there was an establishment of the American Rescue Plan where Community Navigator approach was recommended and approved to help small businesses with the recovery or economic recovery. The program is comprised and led on a hub, which for Miami-Dade specifically, the hub sits at the Small Business Development Center at FIU. And it has also a network of spokes, which we currently have 7 for the South Florida region, which are organizations that deploy community advocates to work with small businesses on recovery and resilience. There was $100 million and 51 grantees, and the goal is to improve long-term economic recovery and resilience among small businesses. What is our focus? We are focused on businesses owned by veterans, women, as well as socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. How is it that we manage the program? The hub is actually providing us assistance to the spokes, and I will share who the spokes are in order to reach out to you and provide better services. Next. So what are the organizations that are the spokes for the South Florida region? Ascendus, the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce, branches, EDC of South Miami-Dade, Prospera, obviously SBDC at FIU, and Startup FIU Procurement. So what is the Miami-Dade Navigators Business Program? Is a coalition of partners that secure $2.5 million basically on a proposal to focus locally. And when I say locally, is in Miami-Dade, in the Miami-Dade region. It's not limiting services, but it focuses on Miami-Dade to assist socially and economically disadvantaged businesses with consulting, mentoring, and training. The Navigator partners are specifically targeting minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, and LGBTQ-owned businesses. Next. So if you want to be in contact with any of us, you can go to miamibusinessnavigator.com. You can also access our social media. This presentation will be recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel. It will also be emailed to you. And if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A feature within Zoom. Additionally, there will be information shared with you if you're interested in services through our common chat. With no further ado, I would like to introduce you to Ms. Alexis Fox. She is the program manager for Startup FIU Local and our facilitator for this afternoon. The floor is yours, Alexis.
Thank you so much, Barbara, and good afternoon to everyone. Again, my name is Alexis Fox, and I will be taking you on a little dig into digital marketing and understanding the foundations of it, as well as some analytic tips and tools that can help you as small business owners. So what we will be discussing in today's presentation are just some key foundational things if you're just starting on your digital marketing journey, or if you're a little further along and maybe need a refresher. So we'll start with defining some definitions that are common in digital marketing. We'll talk about branding your small business in the online space. We'll go over some social media tips, and then we'll do some digital marketing strategies, understand a little bit more about the difference between digital analytics and social media analytics, and I'm open to questions throughout this presentation. So we'll start with defining the following terms: digital marketing overall, search engine optimization, search engine marketing, pay-per-click, and native advertising. The reason I chose these terms is because these are the aspects of digital marketing that can be little to no cost upfront to your business. And as a small business, it's important that you manage your budget effectively and use the opportunities that are available to you for free or little payment in order to enhance your business's presence online. So what exactly is digital marketing? The American Marketing Association defines it as marketing methods conducted through electronic devices, which utilize some form of a computer. This includes marketing efforts conducted on the internet. And in the process of conducting digital marketing, a business might leverage their websites, search engines, blogs, social media, video, email, or similar channels. Now that is a mouthful. So what I like to do is break it up into three easy, digestible pieces. So digital marketing at its core involves three things: a source, a medium, and a destination. Your source is your product or service. The medium is the tool or device that you use to let your source reach its destination, which would then be your consumer base. Now, once we've defined, it's important to understand how the digital space works online and in social media. There's search engine optimization, which many people are familiar with, but there's also search engine marketing, which is a separate entity outside of SEO. SEO helps with improving ranking with major search engines such as Google and Bing in order to increase the online traffic to your website or to your social media platforms. So search engine marketing is a paid online advertising that directly increases your web visibility. So the main difference between these two is that one, the SEO utilizes the search engine function, which we are all familiar with Googling something if we need to find it. And we'll talk a little bit about more in the presentation about the ways that you can make Google work for your business. And it also doesn't necessarily have to be a paid functionality with SEO. If your website is set up properly, which we'll also discuss later on in the presentation, some of the tips and tools for optimizing your digital platform, then a lot of times you may not need to, or if you're niche in a market, you may not need to pay for optimization. You can get search engine optimization organically, whereas search engine marketing requires a payment online. So here's the first set of data where you can look and see where you are as your business and what you have in terms of finances to dedicate to marketing. If you have marketing dollars, it may benefit you more to do a search engine marketing ad buy than to rely exclusively on SEO. In the vein of search engine marketing, we also use what's called pay-per-click PPC ads. Now, this is when the business only pays for its ad once a person clicks on it. Again, this is a way for you as a business owner to have direct control of the return on your investment, as you will only pay for the ads that create an impression online for you. Lastly is native advertising. This involves a blending of marketing materials into a medium. So we discussed source, medium, destination, and this is a creative tool that you can use with content that you have already created or just the nature of your business to drive new audiences to your platforms. What do I mean by this? Native advertising is a combination of organic content, a medium that you use to address your audience, and then adjusting the language to the style or medium. So in a procurement setting, for instance, maybe there are some language around procurement that your clients don't understand or need to understand in order to effectively do business with you. That's your organic content. Define those tips for them in a blog, which would be your medium, or in a social media post, which is another medium that speaks directly to your audience, and adjust the language so that it's digestible for them. Now there's a value in your platform and not just your service. They know that they can come for an understanding of the procurement process as a whole. So native advertising is a great segue into branding your business online. It's not enough to have a business and set up an online platform. People need to know exactly what you're doing before they even approach your page. There needs to be a sense of united messaging around what you do as a business. So the keys to building brand recognition online are understanding your target audience, intentional messaging to that audience, and making sure that your product or service is accessible online. And all of these things can be done, again, for little to no funding out of pocket. So how do you understand your target audience? There are 3 questions that you should be asking when considering your target audience, or maybe your audience has shifted due to the ever-changing landscape of our business world. What is the predominant language and location of your audience? Now we're in a very global market. So what would have been just one physical location can now be your audience reaching worldwide. And that's something you need to consider in your messaging and the language that you use when speaking to different pockets of your audience. And then what do they expect from your product or service? Make the expectation clear. Make it understood the need that you meet and why you're the best fit for it. And then when you're trying to make sure that your product is accessible, making sure that everything is updated. Things change, especially in service provider technology and even language protocols. Make sure that that is all very well laid out for your existing clients and for the potential of new clients, so they feel comfortable with what's being presented to them. Next is the accessibility of your product or service, which we talked a little bit about just a moment ago. Is your website or social media easy to navigate? Is it easy for someone to find the information that they would be looking for in order to contract or contact you? Do you have a social media presence online? Is it necessary for you to maintain one? And is the information on your product and service up to date? As I said before, it's very important that when people are accessing you digitally, that they have the full breadth of the information about your brand, because that is their first touch point before they meet you as an owner or come in contact with any employees you may have. Which brings us to the next point. Because it's such a vast landscape, you need to have a point of difference. You can use your target audience to guide your branding, and that can help you craft a unique identity to connect with your market and make your company stand out online. Understanding your POD or point of difference is the uniqueness that sets your brand and service apart in the industry. So now that we've covered the basics of the digital marketing terminology that you may or may not see as you're navigating that space, we'll talk more about social media tips. Social media is a tool that has recently really ramped up for not just customer service based or retail based or aesthetic based market, but also for more traditional or professional contracting businesses as well. And it's important that you understand the value in social media, and more important to understand that not every social media platform is meant for your business. These are the tips and tools that will help you to navigate the social media space. These 5 tips I picked because, again, they are cost-efficient tips. They are things that you can do right now with little to no budget dedicated to marketing. So one is to streamline your content. The second is to use the social media platforms as a customer service tool to make sure that your messaging and content on social media is inclusive, local targeting, and then also building a social media community. So when streamlining your content, it's important that on the platforms that allow you pictures and photos, which are all of them, that you're choosing the right photos that will present the message. More often than not, before a person engages with your caption, they're captivated by the photos on your page. So make sure that the templates are clean and easy. If you're more information-based, make sure you're using up-to-date infographics. Make sure that you're writing effective copy. Maybe something lengthy doesn't appeal to your audience. Shorten it as best you can. Make sure that you're not using internal language when you're speaking externally to your target market. And then uploading the content consistently can help people form habits around an expectation of when you're putting out content. Again, if you're using native advertising, then the content is organic. It's items that you already know or create for another platform or purpose. And then connecting with your followers, making sure that there's a touch point of engagement, either by raising a question, taking a poll, or simply asking for a review. These things can really help increase your visibility online with little to no effort or money being spent on a paid ad. Also, choosing testimonials can be really helpful. People love an organic buy-in. People love the uniqueness and authenticity of an endorsement from people who are like them. Encourage your existing clientele to leave reviews, to tag your page when they're satisfied with the service that you've completed. This will generate brand ambassadorship and ownership of your service or business to your community, which is a great way to then discuss about social media as a customer service tool. Customers have increasingly made social media their go-to channel for service issues, and marketers have been able to adapt to this new form of communicating with customers. Again, we are in a more global and more everything needs to be instantaneous society, and we need to be able to tailor, even as a business that may work 9 to 5, to that. Social media offers a lot of automated services. You can go into your Facebook account right now and set a message for outside of your business hours. You want to keep the points of engagement with your audience. In the same way you would work a room at a networking event, you need to use your social media, your captive audience that chose to come to you engaged. Next is the inclusivity of your content. Your consumers want to support companies that are inclusive. We know as of late, especially with the peak in the political climate and sensitivities, that people really do expect their brands and their businesses that they patron to take a stand on the important issues. And also as minority businesses, we understand the importance of knowing that we are supported in the community. And so make sure that your social media feeds are indicative and representative of that, and that people feel like they're being seen when they're engaging with your business. The ethos of your business is still very important. And this is a statistic that I found from the US Chamber of Commerce in February of 2022. They did a survey about the power of perception, and 67% of US consumers believe that a brand is effective at raising awareness on important and political issues when they use social media. So you are not only providing a service, but people are looking to you to take a stand on the issues that are important to them, important to the community, and seeing where you stand on those issues as well. Next is local targeting. Small businesses can cultivate more brand awareness by being involved in your community and creating location-specific content that can help you build brand awareness and attract a new audience. So if you're going for a local contract, it's a lot easier to have visibility online for someone in the city or municipal level to go to your social media and find you and reach out. Once you've created these relationships with your local audience, you can then call on them to come and support you or patron your business, position you to make the right connections to receive contracts in the future, and also lean on you as a partner for future endeavors. The second part of that is building that social community, using Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, or community platforms where there's already a pool of people who are like-minded and are looking for your service or business. These groups create engagement and help nurture leads to more trusted and increased engagement for your company. So those are the tips for social media specifically. Now we're going to go over some cost-efficient digital marketing strategies, which include not just social media, but also your website, utilizing search engines, and a couple of other key digital marketing tools. So again, I've chosen 5 here that I feel are very cost efficient here. So one is to optimize your website for mobile. The other one is, again, using customer service tools. And then the other 3 I will go through on the next slides. So first is to optimize your website for mobile. If you do predominantly work on a website and not so much in social media, there's definitely a need for you to be able to have anything that you transfer from a desktop be eligible and readable on a social media device. Most of us are conducting business from our phones a lot of the time. And so having mobile marketing is more relevant than ever. There are more and more consumers that are browsing and making purchases off of their smartphone, as well as making business decisions off of their mobile devices. Next is what I'd mentioned a few slides over about the search engine optimization and making sure that you've created a Google My Business listing. This is a really important step that a lot of companies, if you're not familiar with how to set it up, miss out on. Setting up your business in Google is not just making sure that it's searchable. One of the simplest and free things you can do is to make sure that your Google My Business listing is active. If you're unfamiliar with this listing, you can simply perform a Google search and find out how to do it. Again, this is a free asset for you, and this is how it will show up. So this is a company called Navigator.com that does loan and credit, PPP applications, small business loan, and SBA loans as well. They have a business, My Google Business listing, which allows them to appear above the scroll, not as an ad, organically, and also to have their Google Map toggled, as well as their website information and any photos or any additional information that they would like to have as the first line of sight for their customers. So even if no one has your full website or maybe hasn't scanned your QR code, if they know the name of your business and you've properly set up your My Business listing with Google, this is how it will appear. Next is to create a reliable email list and leverage email marketing. Email marketing is not dead. There seems to be a myth around the business community that somehow people are not reading their emails. That's not the case. If you've built a reliable email list using your target audience, the people that you know need your service, you've created that relationship with them either through your social media or through your other channels, then you can start collecting information about those existing customers and also about the needs of potential customers. You can do so by creating a monthly newsletter or sending out regular messages with special offers, sending out information in the business community, not necessarily around your business, but around the business that you do. And when you do that, you're doing native advertising. You're utilizing the tools that you already have, the knowledge that you have about your industry to create a general connection and value for your product or service. You can also start a blog and incorporate content marketing into your search engine strategy. So on your blog, you can write again about topics related to your business. You can show your expertise and provide helpful information, both of which will drive to your website as well as help your search engine optimization, another form of native advertising. So at this point, I hope you all are starting to see the connection between some of these tips and the strategies that we discussed and why it was important for me to be able to define those definitions for you so you can understand how they all work together. And this is a quote that I found very potent from Nellie Akalp, who is the CEO of CorpNet.com. She says that our digital marketing efforts took a turn for the best when we implemented strong content marketing efforts across the board. If you're looking to boost your online efforts, try starting a blog for your business. play with your keywords to optimize your SEO, and even tap into industry influencers to contribute, posts, and share with their audiences. So this is from the founder and CEO of CorpNet, which is a digital platform and digital services company. So again, just more fuel for you to take your digital marketing efforts into your own hand. Utilize the tools that you have available to you. Understand that you as the business have all the value and that the content is created from your wealth of knowledge and experience. Lastly is responding to online feedback quickly. We've talked a little bit about social media as a customer service platform. We've talked about how instantaneous people expect things these days because we're always plugged in. And customer service is a crucial part of digital marketing, and it can be a determining factor in attracting and perhaps more importantly, retaining your customer. Again, all streamlining back to making sure that there's accessibility, not just for your service and product, but for you as a business. Also making sure that everything is up to date. If something is changing and it's pertinent to existing contracts or to potential clients, make sure that you're being proactive about that information and responsive if there's questions around those changes. So as we've discussed the digital marketing strategies, as well as the social media tips that you can implement, once you start getting insights and analytics, it's important that you understand what it is that you're looking at when you look at those items and where to find them, which analytics will be most beneficial to you starting out, and which ones are available to you for free. The bottom line is that analytics give you instant feedback about how your company is performing across the social media and digital channels that you choose to use. It's also very important because you can make effective and quick decisions without having to procure other costs. So what are some of the benefits of analytics? It helps you understand your brand perception. It's critical for you to know how you're being received in the community. Social media interactions are the most prominent way to do that, as people are very vocal on social media and will tag your business if unsatisfied, but also will leave a nice review if they are satisfied with your service. It helps you identify your customer needs and fuel the production ideation. So the insights and analytics will help you to identify any unarticulated needs, any current value systems, and any existing competitors in your industry. It also helps you to be creative about your content strategy and campaigns. It'll give you insight on when's the best time to post. When is your audience most engaged? What information did they find most useful if you're posting infographics and tips? This is all knowledge that you can take back and tailor your content to without having to have additional costs with that. And it'll also help you improve your overall customer experience, which we've discussed in different ways throughout this presentation, with either your responsiveness to feedback, leaving reviews, or just making sure that you're proactive about letting your audience and client base know what updates are coming. So analytics help you make the most of the internet. You can measure your return on investment, which is your ROI, and also improve your marketing impact. And it helps you to track your marketing efficiency. So when you measure your ROI and you're trying to improve, there are some things that you can do on the different platforms for free that allow you to understand your insights better. One is adding a Facebook tracking pixel to your website's key pages to see how many people interacted with your Facebook ads and which ads lead to conversion. So if you are in a space where you're doing paid ads through Meta or through your business suite in Facebook, then adding that pixel to your website will help to let you see how many actual conversions you're getting from Facebook to your website. Google Analytics also offers UTM parameters for your social ads, and these will help you understand how much traffic is coming to your page from which social media platforms and positions. And the next is to familiarize yourself with those insights on the insight tabs on your social media accounts. If you set up your Instagram as a business account as well as linked it to your Facebook, And if you set up your company on LinkedIn, there are a number of different free insights that are available to you on those platforms that are very easy to understand, very straightforward, and can be super helpful if you're newer to the analytic process. Tracking your market efficiency is allowing you to identify the trends in your area of business. Each customer's journey is different, but tracking those insights can streamline these individual data bites into a clear area of improvement and a metric for success. So some key areas that you should be focusing on in digital analytics: if you have a website, you should be focusing on analytics surrounding your audience, basically their age and any other target demographic information, the performance of your website, the speed of it, how long people are taking on your site to navigate, how long they're engaging on your site, any competitors' information, any sentiments, which would be reviews, and your customer service functionalities. If you're using just social media or a mix of both, it's important to look at your paid ad analytics, which are available at the end of your buy and throughout your buy. Look at influencer analytics if you're using that community function, or native advertising with the ambassadors. Require that those people give you analytics on how the content did on their page as well. Look at your reach, and always look at your engagement, which is comments, likes, shares, retweets, and reposts. So when you're understanding the website analytics specifically, not all of the metrics that I just mentioned are going to apply. It's important for you to be critical on which metrics to consider, so you're not overwhelming yourself and that you're pulling the data that's important to your consumer base. It's also important to understand context. Understand the user's behavior is individualized. So while we're collecting this data in bulk, it is important to go through on some of those KPIs and make sure that you're looking at the individual data. An instance of this would be looking at your reach or engagement times. Yes, it'll give you the overall engagement, but it's important to see what time on Saturdays or what time on Friday that your consumer is engaging most. It may lead you to tailor your customer service hours to meet the need of your business audience. And lastly is the power of perception. The most forward-facing insight is a review. People are going to speak their mind. They're going to let you know exactly what it is that they were expecting and if that expectation was met or not. So when we're talking a little bit deeper about these metrics, organic search traffic is basically available for free to you through your Google Analytics. If you've set up a My Google Business, there's also a functionality that will allow you to set up a Google Analytic page that will give you any analytics attached to the website or platform that you embed in that functionality. So if you have Google Analytics attached to your website, you can always look and see what kind of traffic you're getting organically. You can also see which of your landing pages, if you have a multi-page website, are getting the most views. So if there's a page that's a little bit further down in your subheading that's getting a lot of clicks, maybe you decide to move it up or make it its own page completely. And lastly is the segmentation. Understanding that your audience now is a little bit broader than it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago because of all of the reliance on the internet. So maybe shifting the time frames could help in terms of procuring different businesses and business opportunities to come to your page. The last thing is to make sure that you align your analytics with your brand. Engagement, if that's important, it needs to be focused on reviews. You need to be responsive to comments and questions, and you need to utilize ambassadors and influencers that can lend credibility to your business and product and service. If it's more about the frequency of visits to your website, if you're looking to have X amount of applications by a certain time that needs to be filled out on your website or service, then you need to use geofencing and targeting, which can have a cost attached to them. Or you can do automated posts and routines if it's about making sure that you're posting consistently. And you can also use backlinks, which is a form of native advertising, where you can redirect from one source back to your website. If conversion is your goal, there are digital shots that are available for you to track conversion rates as well. So those are the analytics overall for digital. Social media analytics are a little less detailed, and they're free as long as you've signed up on a social media platform as a business entity. So social media analytics help to research trends for product development, optimize product portfolios, and also discover new opportunities for your clientele and audience base. So here are the free analytics available on the different platforms. If your goal is engagement and you want a high engagement rate, it depicts that your message resonates well with your target audience. It also says that higher engagement is a symbol of the popularity and quality, which is going to improve your the profitability of your items. So if you are looking for engagement, Facebook has the best data and insights on engagement for free. And these are the free items that you can get simply by having a Meta business suite or a Facebook business account. If you're more interested in reach, it indicates how far your message is reaching, how wide your audience is. It gives you a number of subscribers, impressions, and other traffic related data. It also lets you know if you do a paid campaign, exactly what the return on investment would be from that. The top channel for reach insights would be your Instagram business account. And if you're looking for just general overall insight information that's qualitative and measurable, Facebook and Instagram have the best of both worlds. And now that they're completely merged under Meta, it's easy for you to go right into your Meta business suite and look at the data for both your Facebook and Instagram. LinkedIn also offers insights, but they're nowhere near as detailed or accurate as the insights for Facebook and Instagram are. And most times, if you want the more accurate insights from LinkedIn, you have to do a paid ad with them. So for the paid analytics on social media, in order of leads and conversions, Facebook is the top channel for that. What the leads do is imply how much profit your social media campaign, should you do a paid ad, will earn for your brand. And it also boosts your brand's credibility. So when you're on Facebook and you see the ads that toggle the corner of your screen, and there's a call to action like learn more or sign up or take the poll, those are the lead ads. Your conversions indicate what your social media channel brings. If you get more conversions from a specific platform, try investing more in that particular section instead of creating campaigns for all social media. Now, this is more so for the businesses that utilize many platforms at once. If you're only using the Facebook and Instagram, this doesn't really apply because they're now merged. But if you're using multiple platforms, then this would be a good way to gauge which platforms are giving you the best return on your investment. So as we come to the conclusion of the presentation, I just want to remind you all of a few key takeaways: that digital marketing is a mix. Analytics are accessible to everyone. And for you to be flexible with your platform and the strategies that you implement, social media is a free tool for advertising and analytics, and that consumer insights are data. It is analytics. It may be the most important analytic depending on the kind of business that you conduct. Thank you all so much. I'm glad to take any questions that you have at this time.
Great presentation, Alexis. Certainly a lot to think about and a lot to consider. For you guys that are connected with us, take advantage of Alexis if you have any questions, comments. Also, throughout the presentation, there has been valuable information placed in the chat in case that you want to make sure that you get connected to Alexis or any other of our resources. I don't see anything coming in on our chat. I see obviously Laura, Tina placing information about how to access information or how to connect with us. So with that being said, Alexis, I would like to thank you for your presentation. As always, amazing work. And we look forward to have you in this marketing series. The next one, I believe, is scheduled for July 7th. Am I correct?
Yes, it'll be for July 7th. And again, if you all have any questions, I know it was a lot of information to digest. Please feel free to reach out through the Navigator sites as well as through our social media platforms, the Startup FIU Procurement, or anywhere. We're glad to assist you on the marketing journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexis. You all have a great afternoon. Thank you so much.